From the Detroit Free Press in the heart of the Motor City, it's Wednesday, December 29th. Here are today's top stories, presented by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Bush's has over 4,000 Michigan products, including the freshest fruit and vegetables, meat, seafood, and baked goods. Stop by one of Bush's 16 locations for the personal service you expect from your neighborhood grocer.
This is Phoebe Wall-Howard, a business reporter at the Detroit Free Press. Bayview Yacht Club has been on the Detroit River since 1915. It is considered one of the most prestigious clubs in the United States, with members who compete internationally in sailboat races, often winning and sometimes representing the United States. It is also the sponsor of the Bayview Mackinac race that attracts international competitors every year. Lynn Kotwicki is the 2022 Commodore, the first female Commodore at the club. She was taught to sail by her father, a truck driver, and now she is known to carry on his dream and his vision. Go to freep.com to learn more about the new Commodore at Bayview Yacht Club. freep.com.
This is J.C. Rindle with the Detroit Free Press. Just before Christmas, the son of an animal hoarder called up a rescue shelter saying he had 60 to 80 parakeets to drop off. But it turns out the dad was hoarding a lot more birds than that. The son ultimately surrendered 836 parakeets to the Detroit Animal Welfare Group in Macomb County. The dad kept all of the birds at home, where they were crowded into just a few cages. Dad had been spending $1,200 a month on bird feed. Rescue shelter staff said the birds were very stressed and many weren't in good health. The parakeets are now split up among several rescue groups, and some of them are now available for adoption.
This is Nishrat Rahman with the Detroit Free Press. A philanthropic foundation asked a group of young people in Detroit how they would award $100,000, and they came back with an action plan. 13 young Detroiters selected 15 nonprofits in the city, ranging from mentorship programs to sports teams, to receive grants from the Skillman Foundation. They were tasked with figuring out how to allocate thousands of dollars in funding through research and collaboration. Musammith Jahan, a senior at Benjamin Carson High School of Science and Medicine, is one of those young people. The organizations she and her peers nominated were focused on helping Detroit youth grow, develop, and learn. The 18-year-old said she felt like her voice in advocacy was heard. One of the nonprofits Musammith picked was Bringing Hope Back Home, a mentorship program for Detroit youth. The nonprofit received $12,500 that will help it expand its outreach efforts. As a student from an immigrant household who doesn't have siblings who pursued higher education, Musammad recognized how important it is for high schoolers to have a support system as they go to college.
My name is Kerry Jr. II. I'm a podcast producer and reporter with the Detroit Free Press, and now the host of Freep's new weekly podcast, On the Line. Our job is to understand the issues and the people that the issues affect in our state and region and tell the news. I want Detroiters, I want Michiganders, I want Metro Detroiters to hear themselves and maybe get a sense of peace in this podcast. Maybe not in the topics we're covering, but in the sense that we're the Detroit Free Press. And you can come here to know what's happening and trust that we're going to tell the truth, give you the facts, and do it authentically. We're going to give you the voices that are in those areas, whether it be in Owasso, or it be in Petoskey, or whether it be in Birmingham, Warren, Grosse Pointe, Southwest Detroit. We're going to give you what it sounds like to be there. So every Friday in your feed, wherever you get your podcast, when you press play, we want this podcast to sound like home. We want it to sound like Michigan. We want it to sound like Detroit. And I think that's all I got. So let the journey begin.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. If you're a fan and want to support our quality local journalism and subscribe, go to freep.com/special offer.